Welcome back. Today's message might just be the one your spirit has been waiting for. We're diving into something deep, personal, and powerful, so lean in and stay with me. I'm talking to someone who knows, deep down, that their life has never quite fit the mold. If that's you, this isn't just another video you stumbled across. No, this found you. And if something inside you feels like it's already leaning forward, pay attention, because that's your spirit recognizing truth before your mind catches up. You've felt different since you were young. While others ran toward noise, you were drawn to stillness. While the crowd chased approval, you craved meaning. That's not coincidence, and it's not a personality quirk. It's spiritual evidence. You've been carrying something in your soul that doesn't match the patterns of this world. Being chosen isn't about superiority. It's about assignment. It means the Creator Himself handpicked you for a purpose that stretches beyond what eyes can see. You weren't called to blend in. You were set apart to stand out. And with that calling comes a weight, a responsibility that shapes you in ways the world can't understand. Ever notice how the battles in your life intensified the moment you started getting closer to your purpose? That's not random. That's warfare. The enemy doesn't chase empty vessels. He targets those carrying oil. And the more oil you carry, the greater the resistance. But here's the thing. That pressure you've been feeling is proof that there's power in you. Some of you have been waking up with dreams you can't shake. Visions, symbols, flashes of light in the darkness. Don't ignore them. God often speaks when your body rests and your spirit is fully awake. Whether it's flying, seeing water, or walking through unfamiliar doors in your dream, these aren't random. They're coded messages, heavenly whispers, guiding your steps before you even take them. And then there's the silence. The kind where heaven seems still, and you wonder if you've been forgotten. But silence is not absence, it's preparation. Look at the stories of Joseph, David, Moses. Each was hidden before they were revealed. You might feel unseen right now, but heaven hasn't lost sight of you. Some of you have even brushed up against the supernatural without realizing it. Moments when peace suddenly wrapped around you in chaos. Or a voice inside warned you against something just in time. That's not your imagination. That's divine protection in motion. And here's what you need to remember. You don't need a stage, a title, or applause to be qualified. Heaven isn't looking at your resume, it's looking at your readiness. The oil you carry was refined in moments no one saw. You might be the very one your bloodline has been waiting for, the cycle breaker, the one who shifts everything for generations to come. So, say this out loud. I am chosen, I am covered, I am called, and I will not be moved. If this is resonating, drop 3003 in the comments. It's more than a number. It's a declaration that you're awake to your assignment. And now that you're recognizing your calling, the next step is understanding divine timing. Because trust me, in God's plan, you're not late. You're right on schedule. Let's talk about divine timing. And I need you to hear me clearly on this, because it might change how you see everything you're going through right now. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen one when it feels like nothing is moving forward. You've prayed, you've fasted, you've been obedient, and yet it feels like you're standing still while everyone else is running ahead. You start to wonder, God, am I behind? Did I miss something? But listen, heaven's clock doesn't tick the way ours does. God is not bound by calendars, deadlines, or the pressure of human expectation. When He says, "You are exactly where I need you," it means that even the delays, the detours, and the disappointments are part of the design. Think about Joseph. As a teenager, he saw prophetic dreams of influence and leadership. Yet before those dreams came true, he was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned. At any point, he could have looked around and said, "This doesn't look like purpose." But God was moving the chess pieces of his life, aligning him for the exact moment he would step into the palace. That's how divine timing works. It's not just about where you end up. It's about who you've become by the time you get there. Sometimes you're not waiting on the promise. The promise is waiting on you to be ready. You might feel hidden right now. That job that fell through, that relationship that ended, that opportunity you wanted so badly, none of it was wasted. God shut those doors because they weren't leading to your destiny. When you're chosen, He doesn't just open the right doors, He blocks the wrong ones to protect the oil on your life. And yes, I know the silence can be frustrating, but God often goes quiet before a major move. That silence isn't punishment, It's training. It's where your faith grows roots deep enough to hold up the weight of what's coming. Some of you have been feeling that strange tension in your spirit lately, haven't you? That restless pull, as if something is shifting under the surface. That's the hallway between seasons, the space between who you used to be and who you're becoming. And in that hallway, a lot of people give up, thinking they've been forgotten. But you're not forgotten. You're in transition. When the time is right, you won't have to force it. The opportunity will recognize the oil on your life and call for you, just like Pharaoh sent for Joseph. And here's the truth. You are not late. You haven't missed it. God is not only restoring what you thought was lost, He's accelerating what was promised. So, if you've been feeling like you're in a holding pattern, know this. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. The pain, the process, the people who walked away, it's all preparation. You are exactly where you need to be. Comment 999 if this part is confirming something you've been sensing. Let's mark this moment in the spirit together, because your next season is closer than you think. Let's talk about something that can shift the way you see your everyday life: spiritual encounters. If you've been experiencing moments that feel more spiritual than natural, I need you to know you're not imagining things. Those chills that run through your body when you pray, the sudden peace in the middle of chaos, the sense that someone just stepped into the room when you're completely alone, those aren't accidents. That's heaven touching earth. Many people move through life unaware of the spiritual realm around them. But chosen ones, we're wired differently. Our spiritual senses are sharper, more awake. You can feel a shift in the atmosphere before anyone else notices. You can walk into a place and instantly sense if something is off. That's not paranoia, that's discernment, a gift from God to protect and guide you. Some of you have already had angelic visitations without realizing it. Maybe you were driving and narrowly avoided an accident, and afterward felt this overwhelming wave of gratitude but didn't know why. Maybe you were in prayer and the room suddenly felt heavier, as though something holy filled the space. Or you've seen flashes of light in your peripheral vision, heard your name whispered when no one was there, or dreamed about events that later came to pass. These moments are not just meant to inspire you, they're meant to train you. God is teaching you how to operate between the natural and the spiritual. When He calls someone to carry messages, assignments, and authority in the spirit, He has to first open their eyes to the reality of both realms. Prophetic dreams are one of the most common ways He speaks to the chosen. They aren't random pictures your brain puts together. They're divine messages wrapped in symbols. Water might signify cleansing or a deep emotional shift. Snakes could point to deception or hidden threats. Flying often means spiritual promotion or freedom, and the more you pay attention, the clearer the messages will become. Sometimes these encounters intensify before a big spiritual shift, almost like heaven's way of saying, "Get ready." You might find yourself more sensitive than usual, picking up on details you'd normally overlook. Your prayer life might feel heavier, more urgent, and your dreams might become more vivid, with colors, faces, or places that stick in your mind for days. And here's the thing, you don't have to be afraid of this. Don't run from these encounters. Document them, pray about them. Ask God for clarity, because what you honor, you multiply. If you treat these spiritual moments as sacred, you'll see them become a regular part of your walk. God is drawing you deeper into the language of the Spirit. The more you learn it, the less you'll ever wonder if He's speaking, because you'll recognize His voice in dreams, visions, feelings, and signs that others might overlook. So tell me, what was the last spiritual encounter you had that shook you? Drop it in the comments, because your story might be the key that awakens someone else's. Let's dig into one of the most fascinating ways God speaks to His chosen: prophetic dreams. If you've been having dreams lately that feel less like random thoughts and more like messages, that's not by accident. You're not just dreaming, you're receiving divine downloads. This is one of heaven's most powerful ways to speak, especially when your mind is quiet and your spirit is wide open. See, when your body is resting, you're not distracted by noise, deadlines, or a busy mind. And that's when God can slip messages into your spirit that your waking self might resist or overthink. In those moments, the visions you see aren't just stories, they're instructions, warnings, encouragements, and sometimes previews of what's to come. Have you ever dreamed of someone you haven't seen in years, only for them to suddenly reappear in your life? or seen a place you've never been, only to recognize it when you arrive there later. That's spiritual foresight. That's God showing you things in advance so your spirit is prepared before your feet ever arrive. Prophetic dreams often carry symbols, and if you can understand the language, you'll unlock their meaning. For example, water might point to cleansing, renewal, or emotional depth. Snakes can indicate hidden deception or spiritual danger. Flying often speaks of promotion, freedom, or a higher level of spiritual authority. Open doors can be new opportunities or seasons God is inviting you into. Sometimes the meaning isn't clear right away, and that's okay. God often gives pieces of the puzzle and reveals the rest as you move forward in obedience. The key is to record your dreams, journal them, pray over them, ask the Holy Spirit to interpret them. Heaven trusts those who steward revelation well. But I also need to warn you, the enemy knows how powerful the dream realm is for the chosen. That's why you might also face night attacks, dreams meant to confuse, paralyze, or scare you. Sleep paralysis, recurring nightmares, or twisted images aren't harmless. They're attempts to disrupt your spiritual channel. That's why it's important to cover yourself in prayer before you sleep. Declare God's protection over your rest, and refuse to come into agreement with anything fearful you see in a dream. And here's something many overlook. God won't just give you dreams for yourself. He might give you dreams for other people too. Warnings, guidance, or confirmation meant to help them avoid danger or take a step of faith. When that happens, you're stepping into prophetic intercession, standing in the gap on someone else's behalf. Look at Joseph in the Bible. His gift of interpreting dreams didn't just help him. It positioned him before kings. The same gift that worked in secret eventually opened doors to influence and destiny. That's why your dream life matters. It's not random, it's prophetic positioning. So, the next time you wake up from a dream that feels heavy, vivid, or urgent, don't shrug it off. Treat it like a sealed letter from heaven, because it just might be the blueprint for your next season. Let's talk about something most people don't like to experience, but every chosen one will face: the hidden season. Have you ever felt invisible? Like no matter how much you pray, prepare, or pour yourself out, no one seems to notice? You know you carry something powerful inside, yet the doors you thought would open stay shut. It's frustrating, it's lonely, and if you're not careful, it can make you question everything God has promised you. But hear me, this isn't punishment, this isn't delay, this is strategy. When God chooses someone for a significant assignment, He almost always hides them first. Think of it like a seed. Before it can grow into a strong tree, it has to be planted, hidden in the soil, away from sight, in a place where no one can applaud it yet. That hidden space is where the real work happens. Moses spent 40 years in the desert before leading Israel out of Egypt. David was anointed as king, but sent right back to the fields with sheep. Even Jesus lived 30 years in obscurity before his ministry began. Why? Because hidden seasons are where God develops the strength, humility, and endurance you'll need for the weight of your calling. In the hidden season, God strips away distractions, tests your motives, and strengthens your character. He'll remove people who can't go where you're going. He'll shut down opportunities that look good but aren't God. And yes, it might feel like isolation, but it's actually protection. If you're in this season right now, it may look like nothing's happening, but in the unseen, everything is happening. God is building spiritual muscle. He's sharpening your discernment. He's teaching you to recognize His voice without needing confirmation from others. Here's the thing. If you skip the hidden season, you won't have the roots to handle the public one. What you learn in private is what sustains you in public. The private tears, the unanswered prayers, the quiet victories. These are the foundations of your spiritual authority. So, if you feel unseen, stop and thank God. Because hidden doesn't mean forgotten. It means He's not done preparing you yet. And when the moment comes for your unveiling, it won't be subtle, it'll be undeniable. Say this with me. I'm not buried, I'm planted. And I'm growing in the dark until God says it's time. Let's talk about something many chosen ones forget to walk in: authority in the spirit realm. Too many of God's people are living like they're barely surviving, when heaven has already given them the power to rule in the spirit. I'm not talking about arrogance, pride, or trying to control people. I'm talking about knowing who you are in Christ and walking like it. The enemy doesn't fight you because you're weak. He fights you because you're a threat. The moment you understand your identity, everything shifts. How you pray, how you speak, how you face challenges. You stop reacting to everything and you start governing atmospheres. Ever walk into a room and feel the atmosphere change without saying a word? People look at you differently. Some are drawn to you. Others get uncomfortable for no reason. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual authority. Demons recognize it, angels recognize it, and even people who don't understand the spirit world can feel it. When you're chosen, you carry an invisible mantle. It speaks before you do. That's why spiritual warfare often surrounds you. It's not just about what you're doing, it's about what you carry. And once you know your authority, you stop fighting battles from a place of fear and start fighting from a place of victory. Here's the truth. God has already given you authority to bind, to loose, to declare, to shift spiritual climates, but you have to believe it enough to use it. Your authority isn't based on emotions or titles, it's based on covenant. Heaven backs you because you belong to the King. This is also why your discernment is so strong. You can pick up on manipulation before words are spoken. You can feel when something isn't right, even if everyone else is smiling. That's not paranoia, it's prophetic sight. Don't ignore it, train it, trust it. But remember, authority doesn't mean domination. Look at Jesus. He carried the highest authority in heaven and earth, yet he walked in humility, served others, and loved deeply. True authority protects, builds, and heals. It doesn't crush or control. So, say this out loud. I walk in power. I speak with authority. I move in purpose. I am established in Christ. And if that resonates with your spirit, comment form before below. Let it be your public declaration that you're done shrinking back. You know who you are, and you're walking in it. Let's be real. Being chosen means you've been in battles that most people never even see. And I'm not talking about arguments, bills, or everyday stress. I'm talking about spiritual warfare, the kind that shows up in your mind, in your dreams, in your atmosphere, even when everything on the outside looks fine. If you've wondered why you've been fighting battles since before you even knew how to pray, it's because the enemy saw your potential before you did. He's been trying to wear you down, distract you, and discourage you from stepping fully into your calling. But here's the thing. If you were truly powerless, he wouldn't bother with you. The presence of warfare in your life is not a sign of weakness. It's proof of your spiritual rank. Heaven has marked you. You carry something valuable, and that means darkness will try to challenge you. Sometimes you'll notice the timing, how attacks often intensify right before a big opportunity, a breakthrough, or a decision that could shift everything. That's not coincidence. That's the enemy trying to cloud your vision so you'll hesitate. But the more you recognize this pattern, the less power it has over you. And you are not fighting alone. God has placed divine protection over your life, angels assigned to guard you, the Holy Spirit guiding you, and the promise that no weapon formed against you will prosper. That doesn't mean the weapons won't form. It means they won't win. Here's how chosen ones fight, not by panicking, not by lashing out, but by using the spiritual tools God gave us: prayer, worship, fasting, speaking His word with boldness, standing in faith when fear tries to take over. These are not just habits, they are weapons. And God didn't leave you uncovered. He gave you the full armor of God for a reason: the helmet of salvation to protect your thoughts, the breastplate of righteousness to guard your heart, the shield of faith to block every fiery dart, the sword of the Spirit to strike with truth, the belt of truth to keep you grounded, and the shoes of peace to move forward without fear. So, if you're in the middle of warfare right now, remember this. You're not under attack because you're failing. You're under attack because you're getting too close to what God promised you. Say it with me. I am chosen. I am protected. I am victorious. No weapon will prosper. If you've stayed with me this far, it's not by accident. This isn't just a video you clicked. It's a divine appointment. You needed to hear this, and heaven made sure it reached you right on time. Every season you've walked through, the battles, the silent nights, the dreams you couldn't explain, none of it has been wasted. Every tear, every delay, every moment you thought you were forgotten was actually preparation. You've been in God's hands the whole time. I know there have been days when you questioned if you were really called. Times when you looked around and thought, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I'm not who I thought I was. But the truth is, you are chosen, you are covered, and you are positioned. What's ahead of you is greater than what's behind you, but here's the key. You can't shrink back now. This is the time to rise, to speak with boldness, to walk in the authority you've been given. You're not waiting to be approved. Heaven already stamped its seal on your life. So, right now, let's make this a declaration. Drop 777 in the comments as a sign of agreement. 7 for completion, 7 for divine perfection. Let it be a marker in the spirit realm that you've received this word and you're walking forward with it. And don't keep this to yourself. There's someone in your life who needs to hear this. Someone who feels exactly how you did before you heard this message. Share it with them. Let God use your obedience to spark their breakthrough. You're not late. You're not off track. You are exactly where God needs you to be. And when His timing meets your obedience, you'll see doors open, opportunities align, and miracles unfold in ways you couldn't have imagined. So, walk in peace, walk in purpose, and walk knowing you are never alone. Now that you know you're chosen, covered, and positioned, the next question is, what's my next step? Because being chosen is not the finish line, it's the starting point. The truth is, God rarely gives you the entire blueprint all at once. Instead, He gives you pieces. A nudge here, a dream there, a conversation that lights a fire in your spirit. That's because faith isn't built by seeing the whole road. It's built by taking the step in front of you, even when you can't see the rest. So, how do you recognize your next move? First, pay attention to what's stirring in your spirit. Is there something you can't stop thinking about? Something that keeps coming up in your prayers or even in your conversations without you trying? That's often God highlighting your next assignment. Second, watch for confirmation. God is consistent. He'll often repeat a message through different channels, scripture, sermons, dreams, or even through people who don't know what you've been praying about. When you start hearing the same theme over and over, don't dismiss it. That's heaven trying to get your attention. Third, check the alignment. The next step God has for you will never contradict His word. It will stretch your faith, yes, but it will always align with His truth. If it leads you toward purpose, peace, and obedience, it's worth pursuing. Fourth, move when peace meets prompting. Sometimes the biggest enemy of your calling isn't fear, it's overthinking. If you've prayed, sought God's wisdom, and feel a steady peace about a step, stop waiting for perfect timing and take it. Heaven's timing is often activated when you move in the faith. And remember, small steps matter. Not every move will be a giant leap. Sometimes it's a phone call, a conversation, starting something in secret before it's seen in public. The hidden groundwork you lay now will be the platform you stand on later. So, ask yourself right now, what has God been nudging you toward? What's the one thing you know you need to do but keep putting off? That might just be the step that unlocks the next season of your life. Say this with me: I am ready, I am willing, I will move when God says move. Being chosen isn't just about the moment you realize your calling. It's about staying faithful to it for a lifetime. Too many start strong but burn out because they didn't learn how to keep their spirit fueled. Here's the truth: your calling isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. And if you're going to run it well, you need to protect two things: your fire and your focus. Guard your fire. Your fire is your passion, your intimacy with God, your hunger to keep going when things get hard. And it doesn't stay lit by accident. You have to tend it. That means staying consistent in prayer even when you don't feel like it, worshiping even when you're weary, and surrounding yourself with people who push you toward purpose, not away from it. Protect your focus. The enemy doesn't always attack with obvious destruction. Sometimes he uses distraction, endless scrolling, comparing yourself to others, chasing things that look good but aren't God. Every distraction is designed to pull you away from what really matters. You've got to set boundaries, say no to certain things, and keep your eyes on your assignment. Stay in the Word. Your spirit needs daily bread, not just a Sunday snack. When you're grounded in Scripture, you have a weapon ready for every battle and a light for every dark place you walk through. Rest strategically. Even warriors need rest. Jesus Himself took time to step away from the crowds and recharge in the presence of the Father. Rest isn't laziness, it's preparation. When you rest with intention, you return with strength. Keep remembering the why. When the road gets hard, remember who called you and why you said yes in the first place. Your calling isn't just about you, it's about the lives connected to your obedience. And here's the key: Longevity comes from living fueled by God's presence, not by adrenaline or hype. If your strength comes from Him, it won't run out. So, say this with me. I will guard my fire. I will protect my focus. I will finish the race God has set before me. And if this entire message has resonated with you from the beginning until now, leave an amen in the comments as a commitment to not only start the journey, but to follow it through to the end. Chosen one, you've walked through storms. You've endured seasons of silence. You've faced battles that others couldn't even see. And you've come out with your faith still burning. But now, there's another place God leads His chosen. A place both feared and misunderstood. The refining fire. The refining fire is not here to destroy you. It is here to transform you. It is not the punishment of God. It is the process of God. And if you're feeling the heat right now, if it seems like the intensity has increased and the comfort you once knew is gone, you may not be under attack. You may be in refinement, the nature of the fire. In the natural world, gold doesn't come out of the ground shining. It's mixed with dirt, stone, and other minerals that dilute its value. To bring out its true worth, it must pass through the fire. The heat rises, the impurities surface, the refiner waits. He does not take the gold out too soon, and he does not leave it too long. He watches until he can see his reflection in the surface. Only then is the gold ready to be used for what it was made for. Chosen one, this is you. God is the refiner, and He will not pull you out of the process until what He sees in you is His own image, His character, His strength, His purity shining through. That's why you feel the pressure. That's why this season feels different from anything you've walked through before, because this is not random. This is refinement. Fire in the Word. The Bible speaks of the refining fire over and over, not as a curse, but as a preparation. Malachi 3:3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. Notice, the refiner sits. He is not pacing nervously, wondering if you can make it. He is calm, in control, watching closely. Isaiah 48:10. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. The furnace of affliction. Yes, that's what it feels like. But it's in that very place you are purified, not destroyed. 1 Peter 1:7. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. God is not after your comfort in this moment. He is after your faith. Why the fire feels different. When you are in the refining fire, normal prayers feel heavier. Usual comforts no longer work. Distractions that used to entertain you now feel hollow. Relationships that used to soothe you may suddenly feel distant. That's because the fire separates what is eternal from what is temporary. It burns away what you can't take into your next season. And here's the part many don't like. The fire often isolates you. Not because you're abandoned, but because refinement is a personal process. You can't take everyone into the furnace with you. What the fire burns away false identities. Every mask you've worn to survive will melt away in this season. You'll no longer be able to pretend to be someone you're not. Unnecessary weight, bitterness, fear, offense, people-pleasing, the fire consumes them if you let it. Attachments that block growth. Not all connections are bad, but some can't go with you. The fire reveals which ones. Self-reliance. You'll discover places where you've been leaning on your own strength instead of God's power. How to endure the heat. When the fire feels too hot, remember, the refiner is in the room. He has his eyes on you. He controls the temperature. In the refining fire, stay in prayer even when it feels dry. The heat often burns away emotional highs, so your faith can stand on truth, not feelings. Let go quickly. The faster you release what God is burning away, the quicker the refinement in that area. Trust His timing. You will not be left in the fire 1 second longer than necessary. Stories of the fire. Think of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel 3. They were thrown into a literal furnace for refusing to bow to an idol. But here's the miracle. The fire did not destroy them. It only burned away the ropes that bound them. The same will be true for you. The heat you're feeling is not there to burn you up. It's to burn off what's been holding you down. Think of David, anointed as king, yet sent back to tend sheep. and later hunted by Saul. Those wilderness years were his refining fire, shaping him into the man who could carry a crown without losing his heart. Prophetic signs, you're in the refining fire. Opportunities you thought were guaranteed suddenly close. People you relied on begin to distance themselves. Old wounds resurface so they can finally be healed. Your spirit feels both heavy and expectant at the same time. You sense you're on the edge of something greater, but you're not there yet. If this is you, don't panic. Lean in. This is not the end of your story. This is the preparation for the next chapter. Declarations for the fire. Say this with me now and let it settle into your spirit. I am not in the fire alone. The heat is proof of my refinement, not my rejection. Every impurity is leaving my life. When I emerge, I will be unshakable. Chosen one, hear me. When you come out of this refining fire, you will carry a glow that no spotlight can give and no darkness can dim. People will see you and not understand why you shine differently. They won't know the heat you endured, but heaven will know. You will walk lighter. You will speak with more authority. You will pray with deeper power. And when the refiner sees his reflection in you, he will know you are ready. Chosen one. When you've been through the refining fire, there's a shift that takes place in your spirit. You become sensitive, not just to the obvious moves of God, but to the subtle ones. And it's in this sensitivity that God draws you into one of the most important parts of the journey, learning to hear the voice in the whisper. When God speaks quietly, we expect God to speak in grand ways, like thunder, earthquakes, and flashes of light. But for the chosen, he often speaks softly, in ways the crowd will miss. Think about Elijah in 1 Kings 19. He was desperate for God's direction. There was a mighty wind, but God wasn't in the wind. Then an earthquake, but God wasn't in the earthquake. Then fire, but still, God wasn't in it. Finally, there came a gentle whisper, and that was where God's voice was found. If you only listen for the loud, you'll miss the life-changing instructions in the quiet. Why God chooses the whisper? To separate the hearers from the bystanders. Anyone can hear the thunder, but only the attentive will hear the whisper. To draw you closer, when someone speaks softly, you lean in. The whisper of God pulls you nearer to his heart, to quiet your spirit. The chosen must learn to silence inner chaos before receiving outer clarity. The battle for your attention. Right now, the world is louder than ever. Social media, breaking news, endless opinions, all fighting for your focus. But the voice you feed is the voice you follow. If you feed fear, fear will lead you. If you feed distraction, distraction will lead you. But if you feed the whisper will lead you. This is why God often leads the chosen into seasons of stillness. He's not punishing you. He's detoxing your hearing, training your ear. Hearing the whisper takes practice. Unplug regularly. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowds to pray alone. If the Son of God needed solitude, so do you. Stay in the Word. The whisper will never contradict what he's already spoken in Scripture. Listen without agenda. Sometimes God just wants you to be present, not busy asking for answers. When the whisper leads you somewhere unexpected, one of the ways you know it's God's whisper is that it will sometimes take you in a direction that makes no logical sense, yet brings perfect peace. Maybe he tells you to call someone out of the blue. Maybe he tells you to let go of an opportunity everyone else is chasing. Maybe he tells you to start preparing for something before you see any sign of it happening. The whisper rarely explains itself in full. It simply says, move, and waits for your obedience. Biblical echoes of the whisper. Noah building an ark when there was no rain. Abraham leaving his homeland without knowing the destination. Philip leaving a revival in Samaria to talk to one Ethiopian official on a desert road. These weren't loud commands broadcast for all to hear. They were personal whispers to obedient hearts, recognizing the counterfeit voices. If you're going to follow the whisper, you must learn to discern the difference between God's voice and every other voice. God's whisper brings peace, even when it challenges you. The enemy's voice brings pressure, confusion, and condemnation. Your own voice often brings comfort rooted in self-preservation. When in doubt, measure the voice against the word, the character of God, and the fruit it produces. The reward of the whisper. Those who follow the whisper often find themselves in divine appointments that feel almost impossible to explain. being in the right place at the right time to help someone in need, avoiding danger without knowing why you took a different route, receiving exactly what you needed in a moment you couldn't have planned. This is the fruit of living tuned to heaven's frequency. Declarations for hearing. Say this aloud. My spirit is tuned to the voice of God. I will not let the noise of the world drown out the whisper of heaven. I hear, I obey, and I trust the one who calls me. Chosen one, the refining fire prepared your character, but the whisper will guide your steps. And in the days ahead, it will not be the loudest voice that saves you. It will be the truest. Lean in, listen close, and when you hear it, move. Chosen one, by now, you've walked through fire and learned to hear the whisper. You've been stripped of what can't last and anchored in what cannot be shaken. But there is something else that God places on His chosen ones, something that can be felt before it is seen. It is called the weight of glory. What is the weight of glory? The weight of glory is not a physical heaviness, but you feel it all the same. It is the deep sense that your life is not your own, that you carry something eternal, something sacred. It's why you can't ignore certain burdens that others walk past without a second glance. It's why your spirit grieves over injustices the world shrugs at. It's why you find yourself awake in the night, praying for people you've never met. The weight of glory is heaven's deposit in your spirit. It is the evidence of God's trust. And with that trust comes responsibility. Scripture's portrait of glory. The Bible is full of moments when God's glory appears, and it's never casual. Exodus 24:16-17. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. To the Israelites, the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. Glory is not light entertainment, it is a consuming presence. 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. The weight of glory doesn't come cheap, it is forged through trials. Habakkuk 2:14. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Glory spreads. It was never meant to be contained in one life. Why it feels heavy. When God's glory rests on you, it comes with assignments, intercessions, and divine burdens that will not leave you alone until you act on them. You'll feel drawn to people others avoid. You'll carry visions and dreams for things you may never personally see fulfilled. You'll stand in the gap for battles that aren't even yours to fight, simply because the Spirit moved you to. This is the weight. It's holy, but it's not always comfortable. Carrying glory. Without being crushed, the glory of God is too heavy for human strength. If you try to carry it alone, it will break you. But if you let God carry it through you, it will lift you. This is why humility is essential. Pride will collapse under glory, but humility will channel it into the right places. The chosen are not called to show off the glory. We are called to release it. Into rooms, into conversations, into prayers, into every place our feet step. The danger of mishandling. Glory. In 2 Samuel 6, Uzzah reached out to steady the Ark of the Covenant, the physical representation of God's glory, and he died instantly. Why? Because the glory is holy and it must be handled with reverence. Glory is not a toy. It is not a tool for personal gain. It is the tangible expression of God's presence. Mishandle it, and it can harm you. Honor it, and it will transform everything around you. Living with the weight. Daily. To carry the weight of glory means you check your motives constantly. You keep your heart pure, even when no one is watching. You stay sensitive to the Spirit's promptings. You live ready to pour out, even when you feel empty. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you carry it, the more you realize it's not really a weight at all. It's an anchor. It keeps you steady in storms, rooted in truth, unmoved by the shifting winds of opinion. Declarations for the glory. Say this now. I carry the glory of God with reverence and humility. This weight will not crush me. It will carry me. I will release glory wherever I go. Chosen one, the refining fire prepared you. The whisper directed you. But the weight of glory establishes you. It marks you as one who has been with Him, one who carries His presence into every space. And when people encounter you, they will sense something different before you ever say a word. That is the weight of glory. Chosen one, the refining fire has purified you. The whisper has guided you. The weight of glory has settled on you. The silent battle has strengthened you. Now comes the moment you've been prepared for, the unveiling. The season of revealing. The unveiling is not just a promotion, it is a revelation. It is the moment when what God has been building in the hidden place is finally brought into the open. This is when the prayers you prayed in secret start manifesting in plain sight. This is when the doors that stayed shut for years swing wide without you forcing them. This is when the assignments that felt too big for you start fitting perfectly, because you've been shaped for them. The unveiling is not random, it is perfectly timed, and heaven has been waiting for this moment as much as you have. Why God hides before He reveals. God hides what He values. Diamonds are hidden deep in the earth. Pearls are hidden in shells at the bottom of the ocean. Gold is buried in rock. You have been hidden for the same reason. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were priceless. If God had revealed you too soon, the weight of the assignment would have crushed you. But now, you are ready. The shift you'll feel. When the unveiling begins, you will notice. People start seeking you out for what you carry, not for what you can give them materially. Opportunities will align without manipulation or striving. Old limitations will suddenly lose their hold. You'll find yourself speaking, creating, building, and leading in ways that surprise even you. It will feel like you've stepped into a rhythm that was written for you before you were born. Because you have. Biblical echoes of the unveiling. Joseph, from prison to the palace in a single day, after years of hidden faithfulness. David, from shepherd to king, revealed publicly after being anointed in secret long before. Esther, hidden in the palace until the moment came to save her people. Every unveiling follows a season of obscurity. The hidden season is the preparation. The unveiling is the release. The purpose of the unveiling. The unveiling is not about personal glory. It is about divine assignment. It is not about being seen. It is about being sent. It is not about applause. It is about impact. When God reveals you, it is not to elevate you for the sake of status. It is to position you for maximum kingdom influence. How to walk in the unveiling. Stay anchored in humility. The same God who revealed you can hide you again if pride tries to take the glory. Stay aligned with the whisper. Just because the platform is bigger doesn't mean the instructions get louder. Keep your ear tuned. Stay faithful to the assignment. Success in the kingdom is not measured by numbers, but by obedience. What comes after? The unveiling is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter that will stretch you even more. But now, you walk with greater authority, deeper humility, and sharper discernment than ever before. You will carry rooms without forcing yourself into them. You will speak words that carry weight beyond your natural influence. You will see lives transformed, not because of who you are, but because of the one who sent you. Declarations for the unveiling. Say this aloud. I am not hidden because I am forgotten. I am revealed because I am ready. I will not waste the moment God brings me into the light. Every hidden lesson will bear fruit in this season. Chosen one, this is your moment. You will know it when it comes. The timing will be perfect. The peace will be unshakable. And the favor will be undeniable. You will step into spaces that feel like home because you were made for them. And when people ask, "Where have you been?" you will smile and say, "In the hands of the refiner, waiting for this exact moment." Chosen one. The refining fire has purified you. The whisper has guided you. The weight of glory has settled on you. The silent battle has strengthened you. Now comes the moment you've been prepared for, the unveiling. The season of revealing. The unveiling is not just a promotion, it is a revelation. It is the moment when what God has been building in the hidden place is finally brought into the open. This is when the prayers you prayed in secret start manifesting in plain sight. This is when the doors that stayed shut for years swing wide without you forcing them. This is when the assignments that felt too big for you start fitting perfectly, because you've been shaped for them. The unveiling is not random, it is perfectly timed, and heaven has been waiting for this moment as much as you have. Why God hides before He reveals. God hides what He values. Diamonds are hidden deep in the earth. Pearls are hidden in shells at the bottom of the ocean. Gold is buried in rock. You have been hidden for the same reason. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were priceless. If God had revealed you too soon, the weight of the assignment would have crushed you. But now, you are ready. The shift you'll feel. When the unveiling begins, you will notice. People start seeking you out for what you carry, not for what you can give them materially. Opportunities will align without manipulation or striving. Old limitations will suddenly lose their hold. You'll find yourself speaking, creating, building, and leading in ways that surprise even you. It will feel like you've stepped into a rhythm that was written for you before you were born. Because you have. Biblical echoes of the unveiling. Joseph, from prison to the palace in a single day, after years of hidden faithfulness. David, from shepherd to king, revealed publicly after being anointed in secret long before. Esther, hidden in the palace until the moment came to save her people. Every unveiling follows a season of obscurity. The hidden season is the preparation. The unveiling is the release. The purpose of the unveiling. The unveiling is not about personal glory. It is about divine assignment. It is not about being seen. It is about being sent. It is not about applause. It is about impact. When God reveals you, it is not to elevate you for the sake of status. It is to position you for maximum kingdom influence. How to walk in the unveiling. Stay anchored in humility. The same God who revealed you can hide you again if pride tries to take the glory. Stay aligned with the whisper. Just because the platform is bigger doesn't mean the instructions get louder. Keep your ear tuned. Stay faithful to the assignment. Success in the kingdom is not measured by numbers, but by obedience. What comes after? The unveiling is not the end. It is the beginning of a new chapter that will stretch you even more. But now, you walk with greater authority, deeper humility, and sharper discernment than ever before. You will carry rooms without forcing yourself into them. You will speak words that carry weight beyond your natural influence. You will see lives transformed, not because of who you are, but because of the one who sent you. Declarations for the unveiling. Say this aloud. I am not hidden because I am forgotten. I am revealed because I am ready. I will not waste the moment God brings me into the light. Every hidden lesson will bear fruit in this season. Chosen one, this is your moment. You will know it when it comes. The timing will be perfect, the peace will be unshakable, and the favor will be undeniable. You will step into spaces that feel like home because you were made for them. And when people ask, "Where have you been?" you will smile and say, "In the hands of the refiner, waiting for this exact moment."